Alright guys, welcome back to Trending T.I.Studios. I'm your host, Ben. We are back for another episode. Today we're going to be talking about the hot topics of The Walking Dead with some predictions and some possible spoilers. Let me clarify on the spoilers. There are nothing that I know. I also do not go to spoilingdead.com at all. So when I say spoilers, I'm just saying I tend to do pretty good with my predictions. So I am afraid that sometimes my predictions are so accurate that it could technically be a spoiler. But really, it's actually not. Like I said, I do not go to any kind of website or any kind of dirt sheet site to find out my facts of The Walking Dead because I like to be surprised. I like to actually not completely know what happens. That said, we're going to get into some of the hot topics, some of the hot questions. If you guys have any for me, shoot them to me after episode 11, and I will address them. Put your comments down below with any questions you have about episode 11. So I came up with my own questions this week for episode 10. If I have to, I'll do it again next week, but I would prefer to have some questions from you guys, the viewers. So my first question I gave myself was, Morgan, is he being a coward right now? Because I watch a lot of reaction videos, and I have seen a dominating theme of people questioning Morgan, and is he being a coward? Is he being weak? All that stuff. Honestly, my opinion is no. Morgan is not being a coward. Morgan knows what he's capable of. You gotta remember what we've seen, what he's seen. He saw his wife get taken. He saw his son he saw his wife take his son right in front of him. And then he put down his wife. Finally, we saw in episode 1 he was trying to. It turned out he was not able to do it. Morgan, then we saw him clear. He had kind of lost his mind, and that's what happened to him. Well, luckily, through some martial arts, he has learned some Zen, and he's trying to keep that. That's what's keeping him down here and not being the Morgan that we've seen. But let's not forget that Morgan took down Carol by himself in season 6. I believe it was episode 9, pretty positive. It might have been episode 8. I believe it was No Way Out. It might have been start to finish, but I don't think so. But he took her down with ease, actually. And all I hear is how much of a badass Carol is. You gotta remember. Also, we saw the wolves surround Morgan, and he took them all out. Morgan is a legit badass. And I think he is honestly a little concerned on what he will do if he finally lets go of that last bit of calmness. We saw signs this episode, or in episode 10, New Best Friends, that is starting to break. We saw that with a couple expressions he had on his face in the beginning of the episode with the meeting with the Saviors at the drop-off point. But he still was able to hold on. He lost his stick, which I think we will see him get that back, which will be pretty fun. So, no, folks, I do not think Morgan is being a coward. I think Morgan is trying to save a little semblance of himself. I think that he knows what he's capable of, and he's afraid of letting that actually out. That's what I think is what's going on with Morgan. I think it will come out, and I think it's going to be vicious. And people are going to be right back on the Morgan bandwagon. I still am, never left. Next question, Carol. How will she find out that Daryl lied to her? And will she find out? Will she find out at all? Well, I think most of us all agree that there is no way that Carol will not find out. Carol is going to find out. Wow. I guess my prediction on how Carol finds out is either Richard gives it up, or that she just knows that Daryl lied. That something senses that she knows Daryl so well that she says that something's wrong. She demands Morgan to tell her the truth, and Morgan eventually breaks and tells her the truth on that. So I think Carol will find out, and I think Carol will return to Gangster Badass Carol very soon. But again, we have some bottle episodes. Well, I haven't got to that yet, so I won't say that. But it will be for a little while. I'll get to the bottle episode conversation in my last question. Okay, Daryl, will he make it to Hilltop, and how will they react? Well, I think that they'll be happy to see him. I think he will make it back. I said in my review the other day that I wasn't sure, but now that I think about it, I think Daryl will make it back, and I think that they'll be happy to see him. But Sasha's going to be kind of like, "Whoa, you're supposed to be at the Kingdom," but I also know that Sasha has had enough of the Kingdom. Well, and we also know Jesus knows, so Jesus will probably be more like, "What the hell?" Where Sasha's kind of like, I don't blame you. That place was weird as hell. I don't blame you for wanting to get out of there. Let's go fight. Let's go kick some ass. So I think he will survive. I think there'll be a kind of a mixed reaction, but overall a happy reaction to have Daryl back at Hilltop. The only problem is if the Saviors find out that he's there, he honestly defied Rick's orders to stay there. And you say, well, who's Rick? Rick is in charge. We all know it. And Daryl really hasn't ever gone against what Rick has said. So this is going to be interesting to see if this plays out later on. If Rick or if Daryl not following Rick's order to stay at the Kingdom and trying to work on Ezekiel to get him to change his mind, if that ends up being a problem later on down the road, if it ends up affecting Daryl's safety, or if it ends up being the right decision and helping Rick and company in the long run. Next question. Oceanside. Well, he's not in the show. Terrell's not in the show, guys. Sorry. Will Terra spill the beans, or how will Oceanside get involved? Well, Oceanside will get involved, but unfortunately, guys, it's going to be a while. Again, I'll get to that on my last question. But will Terra spill the beans? Part of me thinks she will, but then part of me says no. So I'm going to go with the no and say that she just kind of, that either she goes back herself and convinces them and keeps her promise, but tells them what's going on, that they have all this help, we just need you guys. Or, which is also possible, she leads them, Rick and company, in the general direction, and they accidentally stumble upon her. Or, last possibility is Daryl leaves Hilltop at the end of the episode with Hilltop. I'll get to that on my last question. And when he leaves, he is looking for weapons and such, and he stumbles upon the group. He survives. He convinces them to come help our group. So that's my prediction on Terra and Oceanside. Rick Grimes, hand injury. Ow! Ooh! Owie! 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 We all saw that when he did that with that walker, with that Metallica, that Metallica walker. I've heard some people call it for some reason. It's metal, but Metallica, whatever. So anyway, put his hand through it. Oh! And we all felt that pain that Rick felt. What does that mean? Well, here's where there might be a little bit of a spoiler, just a little bit. But I think most people know by now. In the comics, Rick loses his hand. They have teased it a few times on the show. We know this. And multiple times, Andrew Lincoln has stated that he did not want to lose his hand. But I have also stumbled upon an interview a little bit more recent since he said that he would actually be completely okay with it and would support it. And in fact, now he has been bugging the producers to lose his hand. Does that mean he's going to lose it right now? Probably not. What I'm wondering is if over time, come season 8, mid-season or something, it is fully infected and they have to amputate. That's just a possibility that I'm thinking I could see. I'm definitely starting to sense that Rick losing his hand is going to happen. The question is when. Is this the incident that's going to do it, or is there going to be another situation that causes Rick Grimes to lose his hand that he has hurt multiple times, and we have thought that he was going to lose it? Next question. Richard, what's going on? Is he really a bad guy? And I think most of us know that answer. Richard is not a bad guy. He's just been through a lot, and it's affecting him, and he's sick and tired of sitting around and waiting for Ezekiel to do something. He wants to make it happen himself. The longer this goes on, he knows the worse this is going to get. So he just wants to get it going. Richard has nothing wrong with Carol. He doesn't have an issue with her. He doesn't have anything wrong with Rick's group at all. I think he, in fact, respects Daryl a hell of a lot. But he loves the people of the kingdom. Those are his people. And he wants to save them as much as possible. And he knows that the longer this goes on, the worse it is going to be for everybody, especially the kingdom, which are the people he loves the most. But I don't blame Richard, but he's obviously lost some sense of reality. I hope he finds it. I am pretty positive we only get to see Richard one more time this season, and it is not the finale. But I'm hoping that is not his last episode. The same goes for Benjamin. Their last episode is the same episode. It is not the finale. I'm hoping that is not the last we see of those two. Benjamin, he carries my namesake, and he is starting to prove that he can be a valuable asset to the king. Next question. Okay. Rosita. Why is Rosita being a bitch? And what does it really mean? Well, folks, Rosita is being a bitch. We all know. Why is she being a bitch? I think most of us know the Abraham thing is finally getting to her. She's finally at the stage of grief where anger and resentment is coming. I'm wondering also if she's starting to blame Rick's group in general for Abraham being dead. I think that, like Gabriel told her in Heart Still Beating, they need her. She's an important asset to this group, and it was proven with her defusing the explosives in not New Best Friends, but in Rockin' the Road. But right now, she's having a real problem dealing with her emotions. I'm hoping either her and Father Gabriel have a moment, her and Michonne, maybe even her and Sasha can have a moment before the season's over and they can calm it down. But this isn't a comic book spoiler, because if you haven't read the comics, you don't even know what it means. But if you have, you do know what it means. It's not a spoiler, because you know what it means. I'm curious. I predicted that Sasha would get the Holly treatment. And now I'm starting to lean towards Rosita because of certain things they're showing. And again, I'm not going to get into detail, and I'm not 100% positive yet, but I'm leaning towards Rosita getting the proverbial Holly treatment from the comics. So, next question. The Junkyard Group. What are they? Who are they? And will they indeed last? Well, folks, who are they? They are a random group that is not from the comics. They are not any group that we've seen. They're not meant to be any group that we've seen. If anybody thinks that they're the Whisperers or the TV show forms of Whisper, no. So who are they? They're just a new group that are very odd, weird, very cult-like, as I think I've seen several people point out already. What are they? Well, they're not an evil group. They don't appear to be good either. They're like your chaotic neutral, maybe chaotic neutral good. But I think that they will serve as an asset to the group for a little while. But I'll get to the rest of my answer goes with the next part of the question. Will they last? No. I do not see this group lasting the entire time. I see this group being wiped out either by the end, by a couple episodes into All Out War Season 8, or by the mid-season finale, only being a couple left, and they have to be, the few left have to be absorbed into either Alexandria and Hilltop. I also think Oceanside, for the most part, will get extinguished. You'll have certain people alive, maybe Cindy will still be alive at the end, and they'll again be absorbed by one of the groups that are left standing. And the groups left standing are our groups, but there will be a lot of devastation, a lot of rebuilding will have to happen at the end of All Out War, which will either end at the end of Season 8 or mid-season of Season 8. We shall see together. It will not end at the end of this season. For folks wanting Negan to die this season, it's not going to happen. And personally, I think that is the right decision. Do not be killing Negan off quite yet. Okay, last question. Will there be more bottle episodes? Well, folks, yes. The next 4 episodes will indeed be bottle episodes. I have no detail on what happens in these episodes, guys. However, I was on the AMC website and looking at their schedule, and I don't know if it's accidental or not, but at the time I was able to scroll through and look at the rest of the season and look at what they have put down as a description. And I can tell you this much. That episode 11 is all about the sanctuary. It'll feature Eugene, Dwight, and Negan. And that's this upcoming week, which we have seen in the preview. Most of us assumed that would be a bottle episode. Episode 12 will also be a bottle episode, and it will feature Rick, Michonne, Sasha, Rosita, Terra, Gabriel, and Judith. Now, this is all Alexandria besides Sasha, because we know she went back with Jesus to Hilltop. So I'm trying to figure out why Sasha is in this episode. Part of me thinks it has nothing to do with Alexandria, but part of me does. So if she does come back to Alexandria, I'm thinking that it is to pass on some messages from Jesus and pass on some things from Maggie and return immediately back to Hilltop. If it's not, I'm wondering if this is going to be where we see maybe a dream sequence of her and Abraham. Just something that I'm wondering. So I'm not totally sure, but I'm leaning towards it. Whatever she does will not be part of whatever the Alexandrians are doing. As I said, episode 12 is an Alexandrian cast bottle episode. Episode 13 is a Hilltop cast bottle episode. And it will feature Sasha, Eugene, Rosita, Negan, Daryl, Maggie, Simon, Jesus, Enid, and Gregory. Now, this tells me that this is indeed a Hilltop Bottle episode, but I just noticed Rosita is going to be in this episode as well. So I'm wondering if we're going to get some Rosita Sasha action going on to try to work out their differences. I'm liking it. That's what I'm going to lean towards. Rosita and Sasha start working out their differences in episodes 13 and 14, or sorry, 12 and 13. And Daryl's going to be at Hilltop, and Simon and Negan are in this episode. So I'm expecting Negan to make an appearance at Hilltop for the first time. Negan, or that we've known. Negan, the real Negan. Will the real Negan stand up? He does. Simon doesn't come alone. We have Negan and Simon at Hilltop in episode 13. Episode 14 is going to be a Kingdom Cast bottle episode. And it's going to feature Carol, Morgan, Ezekiel, Richard, Ben, and Jerry as your primary cast players. And this is probably where Morgan is able to convince Carol, well, accidentally, Carol will get it out of him, or Richard will betray and tell Carol himself. And Carol, at the end of that episode, decides, I gotta go back. I'm ready to kill some saviors. So, episode 15 is a Hilltop Alexandria Oceanside episode. This is back with the all-female group. This could go so many ways, but all I can tell you is, guys, this episode is going to feature Rick, Carl, Michonne, Daryl, Maggie, Sasha, Eugene, Tara, Aaron, Jesus, Enid, maybe, not for sure, Father Gabriel, Eric, maybe, Gregory, Tobin, and all of the Oceanside characters. So this is episode 15 is when we get the answer to all of our questions. How does Tara's promise, her swear, get revealed? Does she give it up? Or does somebody else figure out the truth? And now Tara's got to explain to everybody why she never told the truth. And that might be what saves them. Maybe they're captured at the end, and they find out that Tara kept that promise the entire time. Possibility. Episode 16. Everybody is involved, guys, in this episode, besides the Oceanside characters, Richard, Benjamin, Gregory, and Sherry. So does that mean we lost Gregory in episode 15? Who knows? It's unsure. I'm not thinking so, due to the fact that no one else, there's no one there that I can see doing it, unless something happens that's from the comics, and I don't really see that, but I guess it's possible. So Oceanside will not be part of episode 16. I think we will see them return in season 8. Richard and Benjamin will not be in that episode. I hope they're not dead, and Sherry, we know, is not dead. She has not made an appearance in season 7 and will return, I'm sure. She hasn't been on since episode 7. I don't see her returning until season 8 is when I see Sherry doing her return. Well, guys, this has been a 23-minute video. I hope you have enjoyed the answers to the hot topics of The Walking Dead as of episode 10. Like I said, leave your questions down below if you have anything you would like me to answer next week. If it's something that's already happened, go ahead and ask. If it's something that doesn't happen until the end of next episode, go ahead and ask. And this time next week, next Wednesday at 2:30, I will be taking more questions about The Walking Dead's hot topics. We'll see you guys next time right here on Trending Interactive Studios. Peace.